welcome to our special episode.
Our bonus episode.
Spoiler filled.
All the spoilers for all of Sarah J. Maas's. All of her books?
I mean, I don't feel much of a need to talk about Crescent City.
Okay, just ACOTAR, just making sure. All of all of the ACOTARs. The three, the spin-off, the Christmas episode, all of them.
Yeah.
We're here to talk, we're here to yap.
Here to yap.
All the things that we couldn't yap about with our lovely book club follow-alongers and Fallon, who has never read it before.
But this was very interesting because I had always heard that rereading the first book is very just interesting because like you start to see all the red flags you've ignored before, and I had sort of like, I was like, I assumed I'd see them, but I didn't realize like how much the story changes when you know when you know the ending. It's crazy.
Insane. So keep in mind, the last book that I read of ACOTAR was Silver Flames, and before that it had been like a good couple of years since I had finished ACOTAR, because that was when I was like a junior in high school, and I read them as like a freshman, so it had been at least like 3 years. So I did not remember like anything about Reese.
Literally nothing. I didn't remember anything about Reese. I didn't remember anything about Amarantha. Like literally nothing.
I forgot that Reese is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I forgot that he's just a girl.
He kind of loses his personality in Silver Flames.
Yeah, that's why, because that was like the last thing that I had.
Was that.
Yeah. And that's when he's just being an asshole.
He's a funny guy.
He is. He's a funny little guy who just wanted a therapy session with a girl. That's all he wanted.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. There's just so much to talk about. I don't even know where to start. Where do you want to start? You talk. You speak.
Well, my thing, I've told you this like a bunch of times, was just the complete lack of chemistry between Tamlin and Feyre.
They literally have none. They rush it so bad.
So bad. And like when you're reading it, you're like the very first time you're reading it, you're like, oh my goodness, wow, love. She's falling in love with the handsome blonde man. Woohoo.
Woohoo. Love that for you, girl.
Like, I can't wait till they kiss. And then this whole time, and then when you're rereading it, you see like everything. You're like, why are they doing this?
Why are you such a dick, man?
Yeah, I was telling her, I was like, everything Tamlin says to Feyre is just so condescending.
I didn't know a human girl could kill the wolf. That's the whole prophecy, brother.
Literally,
that's the entire prophecy. It was gonna happen.
Yeah. And so all of that, and then like the whole scene where they have their first kiss, where she's dancing, she's drunk off of fairy wine, and then that's when they have their first kiss and whatever. Tamlin is not drunk off fairy wine; he's just playing his fiddle. And then they start dancing, and he's like, "Let me show you something, my baby girl."
Let me go down. Show you how the French do it.
And then also, like, the whole, like, knowing the prophecy, and, like, it adds another layer of, does he actually like Feyre, or is he forcing himself to love her because he knows it's the only way that's going to save his people?
I think he does genuinely like her, but I think that's, like, because I've read the later books, like, from what I remember, I do, like, genuinely think he likes her, but he doesn't know her. He doesn't know who she is. They've been together for, what, like, couple months max, and then Under the Mountain was 3 months of like nothing because they didn't actually talk. It's fully stalled out. She was like not chilling, and then they're back together for a wee bit of time after like the mountain. How long do you think that is? I can't remember.
It's 3 months.
3 months.
3 months after Under the Mountain.
And she's like a shell of herself.
Yeah, and she's a complete shell, and then she starts going to the Night Court.
Yeah, and so then like later, because in Mist and Fury, when like, you know, the cauldron scene is happening, and he's like genuinely like, he doesn't know that Feyre isn't the one like is sending him letters and is like happy and fine where she is, because he doesn't know her. He's like, she can't read, she's helpless, which she killed the worm, she's not helpless, but
he's Andros, but whatever.
And Andros, but whatever. It's fine. She's not helpless, but he's like sitting there and he's like, there's no way that, like, my Feyre, who's this, like, meek little lady who lives in the spring court, could be doing any of this. And it's so sad.
I just don't think Tamlin ever saw her anything else other than, like, a weak human.
Yeah.
Even after she turned High Fae, he never envisioned that she could just help herself. And so I think he sees her as very fragile.
Yeah.
And that she needs, like, constant protecting, and she doesn't.
I keep getting reminded of that scene in Mist and Fury, because now that, like, I'm back in, like, the ACOTAR space, and ignoring certain groups of people in the ACOTAR space, I keep getting that one scene in, like, fan art of that one scene where it's, like, her and Lucian hugging, because she, like, manipulates Lucian, and he's like,
Manipulates everyone.
Yeah, and he's like, I didn't know I was a victim, or the villain in your narrative, and Tamlin's like, what is this? What is happening?
They're hugging, and Tamlin's like,
what? Leaving room for Jesus, are we?
Yeah, because when she does that whole thing where she just doesn't go, she pretends like she needs space from him, and so that's why she doesn't have to sleep with him. And so Tamlin's trying to give her like her space, and then she has a nightmare, and she comes out and gives Lucian a big ol' hug.
She's like, oh my god, I'm so scared, and he's like, sure, I'll give you a hug. And Tamlin's like, the fuck you doing?
What's going on?
What, your hands on my lady? The fuck?
No, I cannot tell you how excited I am to get to that part. I know it's in the whole book away, but I remember reading that, like, the first time I read it, I was, like, freaking the fuck out. I was, like, on a road trip and my mom was driving, and I'm sitting in the car going, she's so smart. She's so slay. She's eating him. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. They're going to double down and tear him apart. Like, I was so...
Get it, girl!
I was so excited. I was like, do it! Destroy him, Farrah! Destroy him!
I was in, when I was reading that book, I was on a bus for a theater field trip.
Oh.
And I'm, like, it's a 4-hour drive in this bus, and I'm reading this book, and I'm, like, freaking the fuck out. And I'm, like, I'm trying to seem cool, which is weird in a group full of theater kids. But I'm, like, trying to seem cool.
Hold on now.
And one of my best friends, Alyssa's like, why are you reading that? Like, why'd you bring a book on this trip?
You don't understand.
Guess who has a fucking ACOTAR tattoo now?
Oh my god.
Alyssa Marie
really?
Diaz.
She does?
Yeah.
I forgot she did.
So, take that, bitch. I love her dearly. But I like threw the book at her like the next week, and she was like obsessed with it. But she's like, why are you reading that? Why'd you bring that on the trip? You know you don't have time to read it. I found time to read it.
4-hour bus ride will give you some time. Jesus.
I freaked the fuck out. It was not okay.
That was so good. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, and so it's just very interesting to go through, like, to read this series again and just have the entire first book change, like the whole perspective of it. It was like reading a different book because you're just analyzing it from a different perspective. Yeah. And I thought that was very interesting.
The whole scene with her dream, where there's like this dark shadow making her kill the wolf again. I can't remember if like, is he actually the one that made her kill the wolf IRL?
I don't think
I
so.
I feel like
he couldn't leave Prythian.
Yeah, but like there's a whole thing where he's like, remember when they talk about painting the wardrobe, and he's like, well, I like snuck into your brain or something, and like that's why you painted the night sky for you, is because I was in your brain or something. I don't remember.
I think it was the mating bond, was that she would dream of the night court.
It was like literally, I remember very specifically that like he like gave her a vision or something.
Oh, he did send her visions. I think he did.
So TBD. We're gonna see if he was in fact there, being like, Farrah, shoot it, Farrah. TBH. So we'll see. What else?
There was something else I was gonna say, but I kind of forgot.
The pacing difference.
That was something, but no, there was something else I thought of. The rose garden scene, where Feyre is like freaking out in Tamlin's parents' like rose garden, and she is just having a thing. She's like, my family, they didn't love me, they didn't care, they didn't come to look, they didn't even try to save me. They just said, all right, bye, Feyre, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah.
And she's freaking out, and then Tamlin comes out and finds her, and she's like telling him all of this. She's like exploding because she's been a little bit distant like recently with him.
After she's been grabbing fistfuls of roses and her hands are bleeding.
Yeah. And she's just having this whole moment where she's like, oh my god, my family didn't care. I did so much for them, they didn't care. Tells him all this. And then he doesn't say almost anything. He's just like, okay, yeah, that's fair. And then kisses her hands, heals them, and then like gives her a hug and walks away. Like, And I'm like, she just had this emotional breakdown, and like that was what you had to say.
He wasn't even like, yo, so like I made them forget. Like this is my bad brother. He's just like, mwah. It's okay, Pookie.
He's like, you'll be fine.
Muscle up, Buttercup.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that scene, like the first time I read it, I was like, oh my god, butterflies, he hugged her, he kissed her hands, it's so cute, they're starting to fall in love. And then reading that scene again, I was like, he completely ignored all of her feelings.
Disregarded everything she was going through. And then when she like falls for the puka and everyone's like, oh my god, you're such an idiot, stupid fucking human, you fucking dumbass.
No, why is that so accurate?
Like, oh my god, she thought her father came for her, and you're gonna be like, stupid fucking idiot, the fuck? This is why you don't fucking belong
Dumb
here.
Bitch.
You
Stay
can't
in the
fucking
house.
sit with us.
Oh my lord, yeah.
It's so stupid. No one's like, oh my god, like, that's such a traumatic thing for you, so sorry, like, I understand why that happened. Nope. You fucking idiot. And Lucian mothering the entire time and like wingmanning. Like the scene in the Star Lake or whatever, the Lake of Star Lake, where he's just laying on the blanket and he's like, Timlin,
go
Tractor,
go
Tractor.
And then he like comes over and he's like,
hey, Fuego. How you doing?
Oh my gosh.
And he's just like literally the entire time he's like, fine, if you're gonna do this thing, this is how you do it. He's such like an older sister. We were just talking about how that one interview where Sarah J. Maas was like, originally I planned Lucian and Nesta to get together, but like they're just the same person.
They are.
Like same person, different fonts.
At least it's giving me hope for that she didn't always plan for the 3 brothers, 3 sisters thing.
I'm very icky about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the 3 brothers, 3 sisters idea. I think it's tacky.
I really haven't seen anyone that does like it.
I've seen a lot of people who like it.
I've just seen like Azriel and Elaine shippers.
I've seen people talk about like the rule of 3s and like how like 3 people, which I'm sorry, I cannot handle it. Like the 3 mountains, like 3 stars, 3 sacred mountains, 3 stars, 3 sisters, 3 brothers.
Woohoo!
It's not my thing. I don't mind Azriel and Elaine together as a theory. I just think they're both too passive characters right now. Because even though like we know that like Azriel's like this Lord of Bloodshed and like spy master and like sick ass dude, he's very meek as a character.
He is very like shy. Does not talk a lot. Timid. Won't talk about his feelings. Anything going on. He just kind of occasionally comments. Like he's got those one-liners that you're like, oh
damn, spy master working it. Not your shit.
Yeah, he was the one that said, "Careful what you say about my
hi lady."
Yeah, so he's coming up, and then Elaine's just also very meek, very like it has to be protected kind of thing, which I'm hoping Sarah like breaks her out of that.
Yeah.
But like together, I feel like that'd be a very awkward relationship.
Yeah, it's not something that like I'd like to read about. Like IRL, they'd probably get along very well. Like like I feel like they both don't really want to be bothered. Like they just like I feel like they'd like live in a little cottage on the edge of the wood and like chill out.
Yeah, but I feel like it'd be boring. They wouldn't talk at all.
Yeah, that's why it wouldn't be good to read. Like I feel like it might work out like
in person, yeah.
But it's not going to be something that I would like to read just because they're both not like neither of them is the spontaneous like fun character.
Yeah,
that you kind of need a little bit of.
Now Gwen.
Gwen.
I mean, just even in like the little bit of like the few interactions they had within Silver Flames, like their interactions, they had like a little bit of like, what are you gonna do?
Oh my god, she got a ribbon. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so I definitely like, and I feel like she did get Azriel to talk a bit more. So that's personally me why I'm a Gwen and Azriel shipper.
I like them. I think they're cutie patootie, like very cutie patootie. I really do like Lucian and Elaine together. If SJM breaks Elaine out of her little stupor that she's been in and like gives her life, I feel like I would like their characters together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I just enjoy it. And I feel like Lucian deserves a happily ever after.
Damn.
He deserves a happily ever after.
Torturing he's been through.
Literally.
Oh, that was something something else I wanted to bring up was that
Lucian is just a scapegoat.
he is like Tamlin does not stick up for him at all. Like he had to whip him, and then the amount of times that like Amarantha can't take her anger out on Tamlin, so she takes it out on his best friend instead. And I mean, they've been friends for centuries,
forever,
and it just upsets me so much that he will sit by and he will allow Lucian to be attacked and punished by
eyeball scooped out of his skull.
Amarantha, and like his eyeball being scooped out was before. No, it was after they already had their powers. Amarantha already had their powers, wasn't
it? I don't know. The timeline's a little fuzzy with that in my brain.
But like at that point when his eyeball got scooped out, why was there not like pushback? Why did he not go attack her, fucking beat the shit out of her? I mean, I'm like, really? And so it's like, it also
I would have done that for Lucian.
Yeah, it made me think of how like Rhysand would have never have sat by and watched Cassian or Azriel get tortured.
No.
And not for him. And like he would not
literally
have for him.
like threw out the last bits of his power to cover Velaris. Like he and then like was like, if any of you leave, you like will damage the structural integrity of this shield. You cannot leave. And then subjected himself to 50 years of torture under the mountain.
Yeah.
Two very different situations. Lucian deserves better friends.
He does.
And I don't think he gets them because the band of misfits or whatever the fuck.
Kind of weird.
Hella weird.
Friends with Jurian, really?
Mr. Decapitate and torture you, dismember you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Humans. Okay.
Crazy.
But yeah, I mean, Rhys was doing it. No, Tamlin was doing that so that way he didn't figure out what like upset him more. But like Rhysand would have taken the punishment for whatever Azriel or Cassian were gonna get punished for.
Yeah.
He would have. He would not have let them be tortured.
He's just a funny little guy. He's just a little guy.
Not upset by.
And it's so wacky tobacco.
Yeah. And then something I talked to Haley about was that in this book in the first book where she's in her cell and she hears the music coming down, and I always really liked that part in ACOTAR. I think it's in ACOMAF, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Court of Mist and Fury, when she's in Velaris and then she hears the music that was sent down to her, and she's like, "Oh my god, it was you!
You did that after you licked my fucking face and my tears." Yeah,
she was like, "This whole time I thought it was Tamlin, but it was you. You had sent me that music." And I thought I always liked that it was something that we were shown and not told. That she figured it out on her own, and it wasn't Rhys coming being like, "I said it."
Guess what I did?
Yeah.
Guess what I did with my magical powers?
Because she didn't figure that out until the end of the next book. And I think that's so cool.
I don't remember most of the next book. I remember her going to the wedding, her freaking out because there's like red petals everywhere, and then she goes to Velaris and she tries to write all the Rhysand is the most handsome High Lord. Rhysand is the most beautiful High Lord. Blah 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 over and over and again.
Yeah,
and I remember
grumbles about it.
Yeah, I remember the Weaver's Cottage, and then it jumps straight to the Cauldron. I don't know what happened in between. I don't know. There's also a really awkward dinner party
with
the Inner Circle.
Is there?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Oh my god, is Starfall in ACOMAF?
I think so.
Wow, I figured out another plot point.
Yeah, because I think Starfall happens, and I think
they smile.
I think it's the first time they kiss because, like, really, like
they kiss in that book. That's crazy. I forgot about that.
Did you forget about 55?
Oh my god!
Apparently you did!
I forgot that was in there.
I think Starfall is right before they figure out their mates.
Oh my god, and then he gets shot.
Yes.
Guys, I don't remember shit.
Because they figure out, Starfall happens, and I think they kiss on Starfall. And then, because she paints on him. She takes the star and she paints on him, and she hadn't she couldn't paint before because she was too scarred or whatever.
Depressed.
And then something happens. He takes her with her. They go on some mission. Then he gets shot.
They go to the prison.
They go to the prison. She talks to the Surreal, figures out their mates because it's the Surreal that tells her that they're mates.
And the Surreal dies.
Damn. No, that's the third book.
It is?
Yes.
The Surreal's in the third book?
Yes.
Since when?
He doesn't die in the second second book. He dies
That's
in the third book.
crazy. I didn't know that.
Anyways, tells her that they're mates. Then he gets shot and freaks out. And then
She paints the fucking
she paints
cabin.
the cabin. And then he's like, "Hey, girl,
Let's have some soup.
good soup."
Soup.
But yeah, so that's the storyline of that. Because I read this series much more recently than she did. I read it when I am in my senior year of high school, and I'm a junior now. Was it senior year?
I don't know.
Might have been the end of my junior year. So 4 years, but then the following year, I think in my senior year, I reread the second book. So
I love that.
3 years ago. So this is all fresh on the mind, you know.
Truly.
Oh Lord.
Oh, the other thing that like I just completely forgot about was Amarantha. Her being high queen.
Yeah.
I thought like randomly like the high king thing was made up in like Silver Flames or something.
Yeah, it was random.
Like I thought that was made up in Silver Flames. So when they were like, "Oh, she's high queen," I was like,
Huh?
"What? This was introduced earlier?"
Yeah, no, I forgot she was High Queen, and I forgot she was even an agent of Highburn, and I especially forgot about our sister. I knew she hated Jurian, but I didn't know why.
I knew the second the Cirilla was like, "Oh, the deceiver." I was like, "Oh, that's the Amarantha. Yeah, she be the deceiver." Side note, we were doing our ACOTAR fan cast, and I think that we did a really good job casting Pedro Pascal as the Cirilla.
He would eat down.
He would love it.
He would be he would eat up that. He'd be like a Hispanic cereal. He'd be like, "Okay, you want the cheese man?" He's like, "You irisen." Te amo.
Besos.
Oh,
I passed Spanish, guys.
I did too.
But the other one that I'm very proud of is we were saying Milo Manheim as Jurian. I thought Jurian was an old man. Let it be known, the entire time I read this book, and I still technically in my brain believe this is an old man. But as it seems, he is not.
Yeah, he is not an old man.
So Milo Manheim.
He would. Okay, so we so badly want Milo Manheim to also be like anyone else.
Yeah.
As well, because I feel like
he needs to be in a little bit more.
He could be Rhysand, but he's too skinny.
He's too white boy.
Too white boy. He could be Rhysand, but he's too white boy. But I think he has the swagger for Rhysand. But yeah,
it's just we cannot figure out Rhysand.
No,
no one looks
trying so hard.
No one looks like they pick invisible lint off their jacket. Like no one gives me that vibe up front.
No one's got the dark hair, chisel, tan. Like no one does it the way I imagined Rhysand did.
Yeah, and it's also like if they keep it like age-ish appropriate, like to the books, like there's no actor
it's
that.
It's hard to find someone like similar to our age that could do it.
Because like my ideal like. Rhysand, if we were to keep it like age the same, would be somewhere between like 25 and like 28.
Because Feyre said in the last book that they're all around like late 20s is what they look like they are.
So it's like that would be like ideal, and that's where I wouldn't like freak the fuck out at like a 19-ish year old actress, like someone portraying 19 being with.
If they look like they're 25.
Yeah, like 24 to like 28 is like somewhere around there. So it's. I don't know any actors like that who like fit the bill. I've been having a really hard time with it.
Haley and I have just agreed that like it needs to be unknown actors. Like all like the whole cast needs to be almost entirely like unknown actors.
Unless like random like side characters pop in that like are like well known.
Pedro Pascal would be our like our biggest dude.
Yeah,
he would be the
he's our guy.
Yeah, our A-list.
And like I think he would love it personally.
He would. Especially because the serial's not in it that much, so it's not like he'd have to devote a whole bunch of time to being in the show.
And I just think he would enjoy it.
Yeah.
The issue is though with like hiring new actors is I'm so afraid that like the fandom that's like that we've like accumulated over time would like destroy them. Because there was that one girl that was like rumored to be cast as Feyre, and they bullied her off the internet. You didn't see that? Her name was like Daniela or something like that. She's an actress. And, like, someone fan casted her, and there was, like, a news article. Same, like, thing that was going on with Avantika, you know? How, like, there was a fan cast, and then, like, a random, like, pop thing, BuzzFeed or something, like, posted an article being like, oh, this might be our Rapunzel. Same thing. There's like, oh, Daniela might be our favorite. And people literally bullied her off the internet. Like, she will never play Feyre because she's probably too scared and scarred. So I'm, like, afraid for a new set of actors. Because imagine being, like, 24, you get this big break to do this, like, cool-ass role. You're being told it's, like, Game of Thrones. You're like, oh, this is my big break. And then a bunch of, like, girls on the internet are like, you don't look like you pick lint off your jacket. Get the fuck off my screen. No, yeah. So that's what I'm scared of.
But, like, it's also because I think it's similar to, like, kind of what the Avatar cast went through. Is that, like, I know that they were hella media trained and, like, warned beforehand, like, do not go on the internet. You're going to see horrible things about you. And because the original Avatar actor for the movie it ruined his entire career. He had just started acting, and this was his big break, was playing the lead of Aang. And he never acted again because of that, because everyone hated him so much and hated the adaptation, even though he was literally like 15 years old. Yeah. And so then this new cast came along, and now they did a phenomenal job. I love the new adaptation of Avatar.
It's really good.
It's really good. But like, people are so caught up on what they're supposed to look like, and they're not real.
They're not real.
They're not real. They're animations that were done decades ago. And so they were like, you don't look like Zuko, and you don't look like Katara. And tried to bully these kids again, especially targeting the girl playing, what's her name? Elizabeth Yu.
Oh, yeah, Azula.
Azula, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious?
Like shut up.
Shut up.
So it's like, it's the same thing with the book characters that I'm worried about. I'm like...
But like, you don't look like my AI Rhysand.
No, literally, like, imagine. And like, the thing is she describes everyone so vaguely that it's like, my Rhysand can look completely different than your Rhysand. And so that's why I'm chill with it. I'm like, whoever Sarah J. Maas okays for this series, I will be down with.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
totally.
always my biggest thing. If the author's there and the author's like, this is my Rhysand, this is my Percy Jackson.
And we know she's there. Don't even get me started with Percy Jackson. The minute Uncle Rick said, Leah is our Annabeth, okay, I'm on her side. I will back that girl up in war. I am not a child of Athena, but I am a child of Poseidon. I will be behind my girl.
And she did a good job.
She did fantastic. Oh my god, it was so good. I love Walker. I love Arian. I love Leah. They did so good.
Amazing.
Love you, Pookies.
Love them.
Don't let the idiots, the haters, get to you.
Yeah.
You slay. Boots the house.
You did.
There's also not a man alive that could play Lucian. I want everyone to know that. Not a man alive that could play Lucian. Also, everyone kind of forgets that he's biracial. Like, very adamantly. Like, because I was talking to my friend, to Alyssa, the other day, and she was like, we were talking about the fan cast that I was doing, and she was like, oh, well, I think this actor could play him. I can't remember who. And I was like, girl, like, that's a white man. And she goes, it's Lucian?
Oh, it was Archie.
It was Archie. And she was, because someone had fan casted him. And she was like, is he not a white man? And I went, are you erasing biracial identities right now, Alyssa? That is not a white man.
No, it's made very clear that the reason Lucian is not liked in his family is because his dad is not the High Lord of the Autumn Court. It is,
and it's like they know, but they don't know.
Yeah, and they figured out later on that like Helion and Lucian look a lot alike. I still remember reading that scene when Feyre going into Rhys's mind, being like, "Hey, do they not look like similar to you?"
A little bit.
And then she's like, did you say like Helion had a thing with the High Lady of the Autumn Court? And he's like, I'm like, I think it's so funny that no one put it together.
Literally no one.
Oh my god.
And so, I don't know, he's just this beautiful man in my head, and like, no one can cast him as this like, he's just too pretty. Lucian is just too pretty. Even with the fucking scar, he's just too pretty. But it's an issue.
I'm really excited. I really hope that they get the ball rolling on that series and it actually happens, because I would really like to see how they do it.
No matter what, like, because I know so many people are like, I want it canceled, I want it done, I want it animated. No. I want this adaptation and I want it camp. That's all I want. I want to see how it goes. I want to hope that it's at least on par with Six of Crows, the Shadow Moon adaptation, because that was bomb. So good. So that's all I hope. That's all I want. I want the girlies to slay, and I want to play more. It's okay. I got told once that I looked like more because I was in a
I
red
think we
dress.
could be the little like spider maids.
Oh, the Wraiths?
Yeah, the Wraiths.
Sarah, JMS,
We
call us up.
We would like to.
We'd
tell
like to
Lisa all
audition.
of the secrets.
We just, can you imagine us standing silently on a set?
Ominous presence in the back, and imagine us like painting Farrah, and like your side looks really good and mine's really bad.
And there's just like us like hiding Farrah behind the tapestry, and we're like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
And then Reason's like they're twins. They're like, yeah, we're twins.
It's like that one episode of Victorious. Don't be sad. It's okay that you can't tell them apart. They're identical. It would be so good.
Sarah, please cast us as Lorraine.
It'd be so good. There's like nothing else on my mind.
No, I think we've pretty much discussed, at least within the first book, but like, just the things with the zero chemistry between her and Tamlin is crazy.
Oh, Tammykins.
Crazy. And it's like, I didn't even notice the first time. I was just so obsessed with like, oh, I know how Beauty and the Beast goes, so they're gonna fall in love.
Wrong beast.
Oh. I loved that theory whenever I finished reading it, where they were like, you think Tamlin's the Beast, but he's actually Gaston. And you're like, oh!
You're like, whoa! Does that mean Lucian's LeFou?
No, Lucian's Lumiere.
Oh, we've been over this.
We have been.
Well, wait. So if Reese is the Beast, then Asriel and Cassian would be Lumiere and Contour, and Morse, Mrs. Potts, and no, Morse the wardrobe. Mrs. Potts is Amber.
Yeah. This is getting crazy. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm so excited to be I already read the first chapter of of Mist and Fury, but that's how I knew it was 3 months. Because she says it. She's like, we've been here for 3 months, and I like I throw up and like he doesn't say anything, and I know he's awake. My fey hearing can hear him. But yeah,
she's just going manic. She's like, I killed people back there.
She is, which also that's something funny, not funny, but like the Fae don't even think twice about it. They're like, yeah. They died, we're alive, we're good.
Yeah, we're cracking and rocking.
And meanwhile, it's like ruining her,
devastating
whole world,
her,
rushing her, and like, I think it's just interesting how like a lot of the Fae won't even think twice about it, but like she's still just horrified about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let us know what your favorite parts of ACOTAR were. And we'll move on to Mist and Fury.
Woo-hoo! Thanks for listening in to our spoiler podcast. But yeah.
We love you. Pick us, choose us, love us.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
I just do a lot of hard work.
Bye.